So if commencement is the ceremony you will undertake tomorrow in which accolades are given and achievements are celebrated, Baccalaureate is that historic sister ceremony, as the president has already said, in which perhaps some context is given, a time in which intentional, meaningful reflection is made. I join the many others who will congratulate you seniors for your achievements, and also acknowledge the sacrifices that have brought us all here, as well as the unspeakable gift we have all been given. Along with our graduating seniors, we reflect on such appropriate questions as, what have I just done? What am I supposed to do with all this? Does it mean anything? And if so, what? Each of us has a role in this reflection. For parents, there is a unique pride and sense of accomplishment. It is your day in an important way. For family, siblings, grandparents, and others, and friends, you just have the best seats in the house through the whole weekend affair, observing the characters and the drama that unfolds, greatly affected but not accountable. It's a great place from which to reflect. Our roles, those of us up here and who have made this possible, all of us, are as co-celebrants. We are the facilitators of the ritual, who put sight and sound and texture together for our collaborative reflection, what used to be called a service of worship. As a beautiful mosaic, we reflect together, we celebrate, and yes, we give thanks as we draw from the wells of wisdom accessible to us in the many traditions that comprise Denison University today. As for my own role, what I want to say to you, especially seniors, on this occasion, has in the broadest strokes to do with what I would call an educated awareness. At the risk of sounding preachy, I am Presbyterian after all, I want to encourage you for the rest of your now formally educated lives simply to pay attention. For it is in paying attention, I believe, that we give context and meaning to the wealth of knowledge we have acquired here. Why have you acquired an education? What is it for and what does it mean, if anything? Consider for a moment that it is so you might better pay attention. What if your education were thought of as more than a way to earn a degree and to get a job? Or even more than a means to make greater contributions to society? To be sure, these things are the more conventional, prevailing reasons that society gives for acquiring a college diploma. And in such times as we live, economically and politically, this cannot be altogether wrong. Such practical purposes do exist. We're all paying attention to this. But this education, capital E, what we celebrate today, is more than your formal education only, which is merely a noble means unto these other ends. The education we celebrate may be thought of, I believe, as an end unto itself. To be formally educated is to have some requisite body of information, as well as training to apply that knowledge. But to be educated in a higher sense is to be more than merely equipped and ready. That's training, albeit necessary and good. Receiving a higher education is to have the ability to apply all of your knowledge and skills in such a way as to be informed in our judgments, expansive in our understanding, and calculated in our choices. With this kind of education, we can hope to have something more than power to exert, but also power to discern, and hopefully for the good. A higher education may help us to see and know the good. Your education in the liberal arts and sciences is the very ability to notice beyond what is immediate, to be aware of what is underneath what is only presented, and to know not only what you are looking at, but also what you are looking for. You have been educated to pay better attention. Now, this is going to shock many of you, I know, but if I could be anything other than university chaplain, I would like to be Jason Bourne. Some of you will know him. He's an action character who in the movie series by his name tragically lost his identity as a top secret U.S. government agent operative. Due to trauma from a failed mission, he lost all memory of who he really was. He didn't know his name, didn't even remember what precipitated his rescue from a fishing crew at sea, but inexplicably, almost as muscle memory, he knew how to escape from a building swarming with SWAT, how to tie sophisticated knots, how to speak fluently in several languages, and even how to drive a getaway car. And in the first film of the series, there's this amazing scene in which he and a female accomplice, who innocently is drawn into his plight, are sitting in an obscure diner in the middle of nowhere off a rainy European byway. They are on the run from other operatives who keep appearing and trying to take them out. And he's trying to explain to her the confounding impulses that keep overtaking him. At one point in the conversation, he leans over the table, lowers his voice, and says, and this is my favorite part, "Why is it I can tell you the license plates on all 6 cars outside? I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed, and the guy sitting up at the bar weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself. I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the great truck outside, and that at this altitude I can run flat out for half a mile before my hands start shaking. Why would I know that? How could I know that and not know who I am? What a guy. I want to be him. Would that I could pay that kind of attention." Without knowing exactly why he was running or toward what, Jason Bourne was employing an uncanny ability to pay attention in order to escape his pursuers. What power! Think of the education, the training that gave him that ability. What if such a power to notice things could be wielded for goodness, and the prioritization of some details over others were not generated by fright or flight, but rather by wonder or curiosity? Or what if simply by caring? To pay this kind of attention is the epitome of compassion. What if by our education we paid that kind of attention not for what it helped us to achieve, but in order to make better sense of why people are mean, or desperate, or sad? What if our motivation to apply mathematics or physical principles were to satisfy a pure want to understand, for the satisfaction that that brings? Some innate appreciation for the asymmetry of data and the fluctuations in temperature over time. Who wants to unravel the mystery of beginnings? That kind of attention is priceless beyond anything we can know or name.